Hello. I wanted to have a little talk just simply about freedom. Funnily enough, freedom now that we are. We're no longer locked down, and it's funny seeing what's happening in Europe, where everyone is beginning to get locked down again. Well, not everywhere, but Austria, Croatia, and other places. I have this idea actually, now that we have come out of the lockdown here in Melbourne, to maybe go to get a visa to France or something like this. But I don't know because I also realise that going overseas in this sort of environment is not probably the most predictable. And I think that's part of the problem for many people, that they want to travel, they want to live their life in some way, and they realise that it's very difficult to do that because they lack the assurance of predictability. And I think that's surely one of the major factors as to why the world will probably change in many little subtle ways that are yet unknowable in the totality of that as a prediction. But that being said, I do think myself to go, as I say, to France because I like French culture. I understand French, not as well as I would like, but that's why you go to the country, right, to learn more about the language and the culture itself. And so for me, I don't know, what keeps me here is, of course, my family and the fact that I was born and raised in Melbourne. But other than that, the things which keep me here are not so salient. And so I have to think to myself, what do I want in this life? And I mean, not in terms of a career and not in terms of money, but in terms of actual life. Like, what do I want when all is said and done and you fall into your grave? What do I want? I don't know exactly with a pinpoint into a board, let's say, but I have a general idea of what I want in life. And I do live my life, in this way. And I subscribe to this idea that cheapness equals freedom. It's just that you can't be too cheap to not afford quality, though. This is the trick to it, funnily enough. Yeah, I'm too poor to afford badly made things or bad things, because the problem is, this is part of the problems, I think, of the world, is that people invest their little money in things which are of little worth, relatively speaking. So they want to have more. It gives the illusion of anti-scarcity. It gives the illusion of abundance to themselves and to their friends and their family, etc. What I would advocate is use as little of the money that you have on the most highest quality thing you can afford. So, for example, if I think I talked about this in this other video, but this idea of quality versus quantity, and so I shan't go into it further, but essentially it's this idea of invest in things which have a timeless resilience to them, rather than those which are flippant and easily disposed of and intrinsically obsolescent. Um, and I think that that also plays to people, right? So I think many people can be quite emulative of the environment that they live in. So they can be quite not not trash. I don't want to say that, and I don't want to say human detritus, because in that sense we all are kind of detritus ultimately, right? We're all worm food, or we're all ashes. So I think that that's a different. That's more of a meaning a longer term. But in terms of the construction of the personality and the way in which one performs oneself, I think it's really important. I think it's really important to emphasize a certain level of integrity in this regard. Not just ethical or moralistic integrity, but rather just you learn, in terms of clothing, for example, you learn your style over fashion, over trying to fit the crowd, or trying to be invisible, or trying to be. I love this idea. People dress, sometimes I see, it seems to me to be this idea that they want to be um, uniquely invisible. They want to be, they want to have all of the privileges of conformity, and they want also all of the shimmering qualities of being unique. But they don't want any of the negative effects of either conformity or uniqueness. And so in the end, they have nothing. I mean, they're just pedestrian. And it's that thing of risk, right? Like, if you don't risk anything, you don't get anything. So I think that's a very sort of similar thing with life, actually. When we talk about money and jobs and everything like this, as if it's sort of the prime objective in life, which I don't think actually is the case from what I've heard, listened, watched, read, experienced in my own life. No, it seems to me to be that when people are on their deathbeds, they're not thinking, wow, I'm really happy that year I made an extra 10 grand or something like that. They're thinking, was I a good person? Or more fundamentally, was I myself? Whatever that means to the individual. But was I myself? And I think many people probably, it seems from what my friends have told me, that who work as in palliative care, they tell me, well, no, it's actually, a lot of them do die with these regrets of like, was I living my life for other people? And I think that's something to be said, something to be looked at. But anyway, I just wanted to share this little thought at 8 o'clock in the morning. So, yes, anyway, I'll leave it there. Thank you for watching.